it's Aurora and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. Hello. I talk about books and writing, and today we are talking about creative lies I have been told. These are all things people have actually said to me, and I think they are complete nonsense, and I'll break down the whys as well. If you've heard any of your own and you want to share them, do drop them in the comments. If I get enough of them, I'll do a follow-up video and we will talk about those lies too. So let's just dive right in. Number one, and I think we've all heard this, you have to wait for the muse. Creativity cannot be forced. Look, I'll caveat this one because here's the thing. If you are not doing it professionally, you don't have to have a particularly high output. It doesn't matter if you write 1 or 2 short stories in your whole life. However, I'm talking about as a professional, and this was from someone who also wanted to go pro. You can't wait for the muse. You really can't. You know, if you are waiting for everything to be perfect, the stars to align, and, you know, this perfect idea to drop into your noodle, then you're going to be waiting a long time because that's just not how it really works. And the other thing is, it's not even just waiting for the right idea. It's then being in the mood to work on the project. Now, if I waited until right time every time, I'd have nothing done. I'd have nothing to show for it because it's always something. There's always this other bit of work that needs doing. There is always it's too noisy, or I'm too busy, or I'm too tired, or there's always something. Now, look, I do believe that you can't just sit and wait for creativity to come to you. Sometimes it does. Like my current work in progress, I was walking through Westfield in London and suddenly an idea dropped into my walnut, and there I was. I had an idea, and by the start of this month, that idea was a first draft. So look, sometimes it does happen, but for the most part, you have to go and hunt creativity down with a big stick. At least that's my experience, you know? And there is nothing wrong with that. That is perfectly normal, and that is perfectly healthy. And I'm probably going to talk at some point about getting the creative well filled. So yeah, look, the other thing is, you know, if I waited for all the right times to work on my projects, again, I'd get nothing done because there's always, oh, I've got to be doing this because this makes me money, or I've got to be doing that because, you know, I need to get it done. Like, oh, I need to change my bed sheets. It's amazing how much you can get done when you need to write. Like, you get really productive. You don't get any writing done, but you're really productive. But it just doesn't work. If you want to be a professional, you do have to keep chipping away and working on it. And sometimes you're not in the mood. And, you know, there are times where I sit and go, do you know what? I don't want to do this. I can't be bothered. And I sit there and say to myself, just write a paragraph. Oh, but what if the paragraph's really bad? Like, then it'll be bad. But you can edit bad. You can't edit what doesn't exist. And sometimes it's that thing of you do a paragraph and then suddenly you're starting to get in the zone and you're starting to feel it. And suddenly the paragraph turns into another one and another one. You've got half a chapter done. And then you just go back and edit it. So that's what you do. It's like, yeah, don't wait. Never just wait for it to be perfect and the stars to align, because if you want to be professional, you've got to get on with it. And I say this even as a copywriter. Don't get me wrong. There were times I didn't want to do things and I was just like, oh, the words aren't wording and I can't do this. And I'd go away for 10 minutes and find another job, because guess what? There's always something else that needs doing. You know, go and check the website for errors and, you know, fix said errors and then come back and work on the thing that needs doing. You know, there's no shame in going, right, I'm going to walk away for 10 minutes and then come back. But to sit there and say, I can't do it, it's not happening because of the muse, you aren't going to do anything. Now, look, if you want to talk about the muse, there was a great quote and I can't remember who said it. And it's that thing of, you tell the muse where you're going to be and when, and if they don't turn up and you write badly, it's the muse's fault. And that's actually a better, healthier way to look at it, because it means you're actually going to get stuff done. So that said, number 2, real creatives are night owls. This was actually a dig at me. I am not a night owl by any stretch of the imagination. I'm very much an early bird. I get up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. I do my morning pages, I go through my morning routine, and then I tend to sit down and write then. That's when I do my best work. here's the thing. You might be the same, or you might do your best work in the middle of the day or at the end of the day or in the middle of the night. It doesn't matter. Here's the thing. Creativity hasn't got a timestamp on it. It's not like these are the hours that creatives do their thing. Now, yeah, you've got your Brandon Sandersons that, work in the middle of the night, but then you've got, like, Octavia Butler wrote her first novel getting up at a stupid o'clock in the morning before she went to work in a factory. Like, what? Was she not creative because she wasn't, staying in bed and then writing in the middle of the night? I don't think that's true. I don't understand that one. That's just a very gatekeepy. You're not a real creative because you don't do things my way. We all have our own ways of doing things. Whether you are a pantser, whether you are a planner, whether you are somewhere in between, whether you get up in the middle of the night to work, whether you are, getting up at the first thing in the morning at the crack of dawn to write, whatever, doesn't make you any more or less creative. Here's the thing. Being well rested will help you be more creative because your brain isn't running on fumes and then just having to do, like, look, I'm straining to do the bare minimum. I don't have time to be whimsical and fun and create worlds and characters and all these other things. Having a good night's rest is what you need. Now, I do get up first thing in the morning to do stuff because that is when my mind is at its clearest and that's what works for me. I can still write in the afternoon, in the evening. Look, I'll level with you, I don't write at night because I'm asleep. So yeah, look, don't let anyone tell you that you are creative or not creative based on the hours you work. Because you know what? Sometimes you're working around a job, kids, family. I've been caring for a relative recently who'd had a fall and my creative output did drop quite a bit. But that's because I was running around doing all that. But I'm still getting stuff done. So, look, creative output doesn't have a timestamp on it. There is no, there is no muse who's sitting on the clock going, I'm sorry, you're going to bed. I've only just got up. So this isn't happening. It don't work that way. Number 3, I don't need an editor. Look, again, I want to caveat this. If you aren't professional in what you do and it's just a hobby, no, you don't, because editors ain't cheap. Even if you're getting a friend to help you edit it and look at it, you do need an extra fresh set of eyes to go, hang on a minute, your pacing's off, your characters are flat, this, that, there's always something that you miss because you're working on it. You don't see the flaws. This person did not see the flaws in what they'd written and they didn't want to hear it. They wanted full creative control no matter what. And that meant they didn't want anyone telling them the changes that needed to be made to improve the work. And they did. Look, take this as a warning story, take this as whatever you need to hear to say, like, actually, it's worth getting a fresh set of eyes that are not your own. You do need someone to look at it because they put that work out there and it flopped big time. It was not good. And it was really disheartening for them. And a lot of that could have been sidestepped if they'd have just turned around to someone and said, look, here's the draft. I'm really happy with it. What are your thoughts? Is the pacing okay? Are the characters okay? Everything else, is it all working? Is it all coming together? And an editor would have given them the advice they needed to hear. Unfortunately, they didn't do that and it didn't go well. Editing is an important part of the process. And if you want to be professional, you do need to have, there is nothing that gets put out there that is of a high quality that did not have some kind of editor. Now, art is in painting and things like that is a bit different. You don't need an editor. But, someone will sit there and say, oh, have you considered maybe this, this and this? It's still nice to get a bit of, external validation and to hear where you maybe make mistakes. And it's the same thing for poetry. Poetry editing is very different to novel editing, but it's still good to have a fresh set of eyes to say, oh, something's confusing, something doesn't work, the flow is off. You do need that. You need it. Anything you watch on TV, it's gone through a script editor. Same with films, and every professional book you read has had an editor look at it. Whether they were a good or bad editor, at least it got an edit. So yeah, that's all I've actually got for you today. And look, again, please do share your stories in the comments below, and I'd love to hear from them. And yeah, do give me a like if you enjoyed this video, and do give me a subscribe if you want to see more of me, because it massively helps out my very tiny little channel. And I will see you guys next week. Take care. Bye.